Hello my dear, and welcome to lesson 43 of the workbook in the book A Course in Miracles. So good to have you here as well. If we haven't met, my name is Linda Lange and I'm a student of the text and the workbook. This is my first time going through the workbook myself, and I'm quite excited to share my journey and to learn as well from you. So be here with me and let me know as well in the comments how you're doing and what was your experience with lesson 43. The headline of today's lesson is God is my source, I cannot see apart from him. Again, similar to lesson yesterday, that there are two thoughts that we are supposed to combine. This time around I haven't had a similar feeling as yesterday, where I had a better understanding of the two different sentences and how they relate to each other. Watch yesterday's lesson if you want to know what I'm talking about. But today I again took my time in the morning to go through the exercise and really focused on the sentence and kept repeating it as well in my mind, like it says as well, and then sit in silence to see what comes up. For me, it wasn't so much the two sentences together, it was much more about the second sentence and really understanding what it means to me. I think I can read it in several different ways. I can read it as, the sentence is, I cannot see apart from him. For me, that can mean as, I cannot see anything else other than God, because God is in everything, right? We learned this in previous lessons. So I cannot see anything else other than God, which it does touch as well on in the text itself of the lesson. But then I can understand it as well as that I cannot see apart from him, as in separated from him. That I can only see kind of through the eyes of God, or because God is in me, I can only see with God and through God. Do you know what I mean? So one time it's I can only see God, and the other time it's I can only see through God and by being God, if that makes sense. So that is what I reflected on during the exercise about which one is it meant to be. And I guess it doesn't even really matter which one it should be. It could be easily both, and both make sense if I base it on what I've learned so far throughout the workbook, and therefore I just let it be. But I found it quite interesting and wanted to share it with you, that I can read the second sentence in various different ways. I think at some point I even thought of a third way, which I now forgot about because it was this morning and now it's much later in the day. So yeah, but there was as well a lot of teaching in the text, wasn't there? In the first paragraph, it spoke again a bit more about the Holy Spirit and its purpose and its function, especially when it comes to seeing, to vision, to perception and knowledge. We haven't talked about that for a while, so that was quite interesting. And in the second paragraph, it touches a bit more on salvation. And I really love the third sentence, yet in salvation, which is the undoing of what never was, perception has a mighty purpose. So really, it just talks about perception a bit more and how it is important, even that it's not, and even that it doesn't exist, it somehow still exists. But I found much more interesting the third sentence because it explains it a little bit more again and reminds us about salvation and what it is, the undoing of what never was. I really liked that sentence and took that from today's lesson really with me. And then in the third paragraph, I really like the second sentence. It resonated with me. Whatever you do in him, in God. Because whatever you think with his mind, with God's mind. That sentence as well resonated with me, to hear it like that, phrased like that. to reflect again that whatever we do, we automatically do it already as God, through God, with God, whatever works for you. And then whatever we think, it's the same, that we think it with His mind, even that most of the times we probably don't think like that. Because we still see ourselves separate, our minds and as well our bodies, with which we do, right? That's what it says here. Whatever you do in Him, and whatever you think with His mind. I found that sentence as well quite interesting, and it resonated with me. And yeah, and all of the rest of the text was based on the exercise, which was a little bit more complex today, but I think I still liked it. I wasn't able, as much as I wanted to remind myself throughout the day, even that I did have a post-it this time on my computer. But if you're stuck in calls for many hours, and then in the other hours you're actually focusing on doing something in particular, you lose the sense of time. And then if I don't look at the post-it, I find it really hard to remind myself. So maybe I need some other reminder, maybe some kind of tone on my phone, like a ring, that reminds me to stop briefly and think about the sentence of the day. Let's see, just something for me to think about, if I am okay with how I'm doing so far, or if I want to take it up a notch. We will see. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought about lesson 43, about the text and the teachings, and as well the exercise. Has it resonated with you? Have you experienced anything particular? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you and learn from you as well. And then I will see you again tomorrow for lesson 44. Until then, love you and bye-bye.